Every single day, you're facing a constant stream of choices, right? Some are pretty small, like what's for lunch, but others, well, they quietly shape our lives. Who do you vote for? Should you take on that debt? Is that amazing opportunity that just landed in your inbox for real? So how do we even begin to navigate all of this? Look, with all the information, the emotion, and frankly, the manipulation coming at us, making the perfect choice every single time is, well, it's pretty much impossible. Nobody gets it right 100% of the time. But, and this is a big but, you can build a habit that dramatically increases your odds of making a good decision when it really counts. And that tool is what we call critical thinking. Now, I know, that can sound like a stuffy academic buzzword, but it's not. It's actually a really practical process for finding some clarity in a very, very noisy world. So to start, let's just clear something up about what this really means. That word critical. It can sound negative, can't it? Like you're just trying to find fault in everything. But that's not what this is about at all. Critical thinking is really about questioning assumptions. And yeah, that includes your own. It's about using evidence and logic instead of just reacting based on a gut feeling or a vibe. It is not about being cynical, and it's not about doubting everything so much that you just get stuck. It's simply about slowing down and thinking methodically. The best way to think about it is like a mental filter. All this raw information comes flying in, you pause, you test it, you analyze it, and only the most reliable, most relevant pieces actually get through to shape your final decision. It's not about doubting everything, it's about filtering wisely. So how do we actually build this mental filter? Well, there's a simple, really powerful 5-step framework that you can apply to just about any problem or decision that you're facing. Okay, here are the 5 steps. 1. Formulate your question. 2. Gather information. 3. Apply that information. 4. Consider the implications. And 5. Explore other viewpoints. Let's walk through what this actually looks like. Step 1 sounds simple, but it is so important. Know what you are really asking. The quality of your answer depends almost completely on the quality of your initial question. You know, most bad decisions, they start with a really fuzzy, poorly formed question. So for example, let's say you're tempted by some new diet trend you saw online. Your first instinct might be to ask, should I try this new fad diet? It seems straightforward, but it's actually not a very hopeful question. A better, more critical question goes a little deeper. What am I actually trying to achieve here? Is it about losing a few pounds for a week, or is it about finding a healthy, sustainable way of eating that fits my long-term goals? See how that reframes the whole problem? It shifts from a simple yes-no into a search for a real solution. And that's exactly why step 2 is so key. When you have a clear question, gathering the right information gets so much easier. You can instantly start to filter out the noise, you know, the influencer testimonials, the miracle claims, and you can focus on what actually matters, like real studies or credible expert advice. Okay, so you've got your clear question, you've gathered some relevant info. Step 3 is where the real thinking starts. You have to actively interrogate that information. You have to ask yourself, what assumptions are being made here? Are there any gaps in the logic? Let's use a classic example. Ah yes, the "you've won millions" email. I mean, think about it. For this to be real, you'd have to accept a whole list of totally absurd assumptions. Like legitimate lotteries just email strangers out of the blue? That huge financial transactions are handled with zero prior contact and, for some reason, terrible grammar? Critical thinking lets you spot these broken assumptions instantly and see the scam for what it is. So you've applied the information, but we're not done. Critical thinking doesn't just stop at what's true right now. Step 4 is all about zooming out and asking, okay, if I do this, then what happens? And what happens after that? It's about seeing the second and third order consequences. Let's just take a policy idea as a neutral example, a promise to make gas cheaper. Well, the short-term gain is obvious. You save money right away. But a critical thinker asks, what are the potential long-term costs? Could it lead to more pollution, less investment in public transit, maybe a slower shift to cleaner energy? This isn't about saying the policy is good or bad. It's about seeing the whole system of effects, not just the one immediate benefit. And now for the final step, and honestly, this one can be the hardest. It's about genuinely trying to understand perspectives that you disagree with. This isn't about giving up on your own values, it's about having the intellectual humility to consider that, hey, maybe you don't have the full picture. Really engaging with an opposing view doesn't mean you have to adopt it. It just means you try to understand why other smart, reasonable people might see the world differently. It forces you to argue against the strongest version of their argument, not the weakest. And that doesn't weaken your own position, it actually makes your understanding so much deeper. So when you start putting all of this together, something cool happens. It stops being just a process you follow, and it starts becoming a real skill. It's like a muscle you can practice and strengthen over time. So let's just recap that toolkit one last time. Formulate a precise question. Gather relevant information. Apply it by interrogating the assumptions. Consider the long-term implications, and explore other viewpoints. That's your framework. And the payoff for doing this? It's huge. This isn't some abstract exercise. It means making fewer impulsive mistakes. It means being way less vulnerable to scams and manipulation. And most importantly, it means making choices that are actually aligned with your real long-term goals. Plain and simple, it means fewer regrets. And that's really why this matters so much right now. We live in a world that is just overflowing with information, misinformation, and pure noise. In this kind of environment, having a reliable mental filter, it isn't a luxury. It really is a survival skill. The best part is this is a skill you can learn. The more you practice it, the more automatic it becomes. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. What's one area of your life, maybe it's your finances, your health, how you read the news, where you want to try applying this 5-step process just a little more deliberately? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave your opinion in the comments and tell me which topic you'd like me to talk about next. The comment with the most likes will be turned into a video.